Of course, Diamond Tiara would make them take the longest path. She didn't exactly have a soft spot for Pipsqueak the runt, Schootaloo the chicken, and Saphira the new filly. Shows how much faith she had in the three of them to make it to the end. Caw! 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 The sudden cries made Pipsqueak shudder. Crows are such jerks. He stared daggers at them, as if trying to will them to explode or something. Hey, wait up! Pipsqueak called after Schootaloo and Saphira, as he struggled to keep up with their pace. And it wasn't because he was smaller than them, stupid height, but because they both seemed to be walking much faster than usual. Slow down, guys! Pipsqueak said through struggled breaths. They both stopped in unison. Phew! Pipsqueak took a moment to catch his breath. What's wrong with you two? It's almost like you're Pipsqueak paused. A mischievous smile started creeping his way onto his face. You're scared, aren't you, Schootaloo? Schootaloo suddenly rounded on him, spinning so fast her tail nearly smacked into Pipsqueak's face. No! Of course I'm not scared! Losing control of your voice was a pretty good sign that a pony was scared, as if the comical gods were looking down on the ponies, and howling of the timber wolves echoed through the night sky. Ah! Schootaloo leapt into the air immediately, grabbing on to one of the low-hanging branches in fear. Pipsqueak stifled a laugh. Come on, ain't that bad, and there's nothing to be afraid about here. Not while we have the lanterns. Pipsqueak motioned to the lantern hanging from a stick attached to his saddlebag. At least, that's what he'd been told. What if the lanterns didn't work? What if it was a lie? What if they had just been lucky to not run into a timber wolf, or a dragon, or a cockatrice, or... He smacked his hind legs. Don't get scared now, Pipsqueak. It hasn't even been an hour yet. He didn't want to be labeled a chicken for the rest of his life. Nope. He was Captain Pipsqueak, pirate of the seas, brave explorer, hero of Equestria. There was no time for fear. Fear wasn't even in his dictionary. Literally, he had used a permanent marker to scribble over the definition of fear in his school dictionary. Pipsqueak may be small, but he was not a scaredy pony. Pipsqueak stepped forward and illuminated the path ahead with his lantern. The fog was really picking up, making it really hard to see. He dug out the runestone tucked away into his scarf, ignoring the sound of Schootaloo crashing to the ground next to him. How did this work again? Picture the pony you want to talk to. It should do the rest. Schootaloo groaned out an answer, as Saphira helped brush the dirt off Schootaloo's costume. Got it. Thanks. Who should he be trying to talk to? There was a spark of electricity as he saw the face of Diamond Tiara. What? She said impatiently. Nothing. Just wondering how things are going. Fine. Now stop talking and start walking. She cut their conversation short. Pipsqueak puffed up his cheeks in indignation. Diamond Tiara was still as mean as ever. Pipsqueak just wanted to talk. Whatever. He tried thinking again. Featherweight. The runestone sparked to life, and he saw the face of his lanky cousin reflected in the stone. Hey, cousin. Hey. That was it? Featherweight wasn't exactly the most confident pony, but he usually talked Pip's ear off. Everything all right? Picking up the odd tone in his cousin giving off. Yeah. Just... Hey, have you seen Dinky? Dinky? Pipsqueak and Featherweight's groups had gone off in completely different directions. The odds of running into Dinky out here were slim to none, even if it was into pitch black. No. Why? Is she lost? No, he said a little too quickly. There seems to be some sounds in the background. Featherweight turned to see, and then said without looking back, I have to go now. Bye, Pipsqueak. He cut off the feed. Huh? What do you suppose that's about? Schootaloo had been looking over his shoulder. A curious expression struck her face. I have an idea. Schootaloo flapped her tiny wings. Give me a boost. I can get up on a tree, and then I might be able to see the lights of the other lanterns. If she still has her lantern. Saphira spoke up, stopping to see what Pipsqueak and Schootaloo were doing. The two ponies ignored her. Pipsqueak stood by one of the bigger trees as Schootaloo galloped towards him, using him as a spring, and then jumped. While Schootaloo still had difficulty flying, she could jump pretty high thanks to the fluttering of her wings. She caught one of the branches and started scaling the tree. Meanwhile, Pipsqueak tried to call the others. Maybe one of them had seen Dinky. No response from Snips or Snails. There was a short response from the dazed triplets. He had just barely seen the face of one of the triplets before it cut out again. What was that expression they were making? Archer picked up. "What's up, Pippo?" Another weird nickname. "Have you seen Dinky?" "Did Flutterbutt lose her?" I think so." "Huh." "Cornet. Firelocks. You seen Dinky?" He heard both ponies in the background answer a resounding no. Archer looked back to Pipsqueak, a somber look on her face. "Sorry, Pips, she ain't here. But I'll try and use my superior tracking skills to find her. I'm a ranger, after all." "There she goes again, getting into her role," one of the ponies from Archer's group said. "Hey, Firelocks, don't wander off." "Nothing wrong with that. Anyway, we'll keep an eye out for her. I'll try calling Diamond Tiara, and then we'll—" The feed cut out. "Hello? Archer? Oi!" He shook the runestone violently. No good. He couldn't get a signal from anyone. "Hey, Pipsqueak, I can see a couple of the lanterns. One of them might be Dinky." Schootaloo called up from the top of the tree, fluttering at the edge of an unstable branch. "Try looking for the one that's singled out," Saphira called up. She turned to Pipsqueak, but then turned away and dug out her runestone. "Okay. Huh? What is it?" Pipsqueak called up to her. "One of the lanterns just went out." As soon as she finished her sentence, a large black thing had suddenly smashed into Schootaloo. She screamed and thrashed as she fell from the tree. Crunch! A cringeworthy sound came from Schootaloo's left wing when she hit the ground. Pipsqueak stood completely motionless as Schootaloo held her wing. It definitely wasn't supposed to bend that way. Time slowed to a crawl as he watched Schootaloo cry out in agony, and as Saphira rushed over to her. She called out to Pipsqueak, but all he heard was a wordless silence. She scoffed and dug out her own first aid kit, going to work on mending Schootaloo's wing. It had taken a good 20 minutes to stop Schootaloo from screaming, and during those 20 minutes, Pipsqueak had been staring at where Schootaloo had fallen, completely dumbfounded. He could still hear the sickening crunch of Schootaloo's wing. "Once we get back, we'll have someone will have to look at that. I'm not a medic," Saphira said as she pet Schootaloo comfortingly on the back. Schootaloo sniffled, wiping the snot from her nostrils. "Guess I won't be doing any cool aerial maneuvers anytime soon." She tried to joke and laugh off the pain. Dinky had gone missing. No pony was answering the runestones. Scaredy pony or not, maybe this was starting to get a little dangerous. What if these lanterns really wouldn't ward off the monsters in the forest? His shaking only got worse, and the constant noise wasn't helping his nerves. Don't think about it. All jokes aside, even the son of a famous horror writer wasn't completely fearless. He took a deep breath and stared at the dirt road, laced with twigs and rocks. I think we're almost there. Saphira, has anyone called back? Maybe we can meet up somewhere and search for Dinky." Great idea," Schootaloo added. "Ow!" She accidentally fluttered her wing. She'd have to keep an eye on that. Saphira shook her head. "But I'll try again." She immediately added when she saw Pipsqueak and Schootaloo's faces. She seemed to be the only brave one in their merry band of foals. Of course, considering she always kept the same deadpan look of hers, she could have been more scared than either of them, but was just really good at hiding any emotion that she felt. She used her unicorn magic to activate her runestone. There was a small crackle of lightning from the rune, but the only thing the three ponies heard was dead air. Not in range. That's weird. It was working fine a little while ago. You think we took a wrong turn somewhere? Schootaloo asked while trying to use her own runestone. Same result as Saphira's. This was getting really weird. Pip, try yours. Pipsqueak dug out the runestone beneath his scarf, held it close to his chest, concentrated, and there was a spark of electricity, but still the same pshh sound coming from the rune until the light fizzled and faded. He shook his head. Maybe they're back already. Yeah, that's probably it. So we should probably go too. Schootaloo tried and come up with a reasonable explanation. She definitely didn't want to stay in the forest, cut off from the others like this. We probably miscalculated the range of the runes, is all. Saphira continued down the path, using her horn's magic to levitate her lantern forward. Look, I can see a cabin from here. Maybe some of our classmates will be in there? Pipsqueak noticed something off about Saphira. It wasn't just because she was speaking more than usual. Her sentences usually began being just a few words. But she was also taking charge. Saphira had usually just been a background pony, either not participating or giving the minimal amount of effort. He gave a look to Schootaloo, who nodded in return. Right. Let's keep going then.